Have you ever swiped your debit card at a store, only to see that dreaded "payment declined" message flash on the screen? You try again, feeling the pressure of the line behind you, and it works, so you walk away relieved. But what if that decline wasn't a glitch? What if it were a deliberate trick designed to steal your card information and drain your bank account in minutes? This new payment decline scam is targeting seniors and debit card users every single day, catching them off guard in the most ordinary moments. You need to watch this video until the end because I'm going to reveal exactly how this scam works, step by step, and share critical tips to protect your hard-earned money from being stolen before it's too late. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Part 1. The setup of the scam. Imagine this. Picture this. You're at the checkout counter of a busy grocery store, your cart brimming with items you've carefully selected. The line behind you is growing, and you can feel the subtle pressure of impatient shoppers tapping their feet or glancing at their watches. You reach for your wallet, pull out your debit or credit card, and either insert it into the payment terminal or tap it for a contactless transaction. The machine beeps, and you wait for the familiar, approved message. But instead, the screen flashes red with the dreaded words, "Payment declined." The cashier, with a practiced neutral expression, perhaps tinged with a hint of impatience, says, "It didn't go through. Could you try again?" Your heart sinks. A flush of embarrassment creeps up your neck as you imagine the people behind you judging, wondering if your account is empty or if you're holding up their day. In that split second, your instinct kicks in. You want to resolve this quickly, avoid confrontation, and prove there's nothing wrong with your card. So, you insert or tap your card again, maybe even a third time, hoping the machine will cooperate. What you don't realize is that this moment of vulnerability is exactly what scammers are banking on. This isn't always a random glitch or a legitimate bank rejection. In some cases, the decline is a carefully orchestrated ruse, designed to exploit your natural human reactions: embarrassment, urgency, and trust. Criminals know that most people won't pause to question the situation or demand an explanation. Instead, you'll try again, just as they want you to. This scam, often referred to as a false decline or skimming setup, is a modern-day sleight of hand, as cunning as a magician's trick. Unscrupulous merchants or fraudsters working within legitimate businesses tamper with payment terminals or software to deliberately trigger a false, declined message on your first attempt. Behind the scenes, the moment you insert or tap your card, your information, card number, PIN, or even the card's magnetic strip data, may already be captured by a skimming device or malicious software. When you try again, the transaction often goes through seamlessly, leaving you relieved and unaware that your financial details have been stolen. This tactic preys on universal human psychology, our aversion to public embarrassment, our desire to resolve problems quickly, and our assumption that businesses operate in good faith. You walk away from the counter, groceries in hand, oblivious to the fact that your trust has been weaponized against you. The scammers, meanwhile, have what they need to drain your account or sell your data on the dark web, all while you remain none the wiser. Part 2. Why seniors are targeted. Seniors are disproportionately vulnerable to this scam, and the reasons are as heartbreaking as they are calculated. Scammers don't choose their targets randomly. They study human behavior with the precision of a predator stalking prey. They know that seniors, particularly those over 65, often embody values like politeness, respect, and a reluctance to make a fuss. These are admirable traits, forged in an era when civility was a cornerstone of social interaction. But in the hands of criminals, these virtues become liabilities. Imagine a senior at a checkout counter, facing that same payment declined message. Rather than questioning the cashier or demanding to speak to a manager, many will quietly try their card again, assuming the issue is a simple error or even their own mistake. They might feel embarrassed or worry about appearing incompetent in front of others. Scammers rely on this hesitation, knowing that seniors are less likely to challenge the situation or suspect foul play. Another factor making seniors ideal targets is their financial habits. Many older adults prefer debit cards over credit cards, a choice rooted in a cultural aversion to debt. For those who came of age in the mid-20th century, Debit cards represent a responsible way to manage money, spending only what you have, avoiding the pitfalls of credit. But this preference comes with heightened risks. Unlike credit cards, which offer robust fraud protections and allow you to dispute charges before paying, debit cards are directly linked to your bank account. If a scammer gains access, the money is withdrawn instantly, leaving your account depleted. Recovering those funds can be a slow, arduous process, often taking weeks or even months, during which seniors may struggle to cover essential expenses like groceries, utilities, or medical bills. Compounding the problem, seniors may not monitor their bank accounts as closely as younger generations, who are accustomed to checking balances and transactions on their smartphones multiple times a day. Many older adults rely on monthly paper statements or infrequent visits to the bank, giving scammers a critical window of opportunity, hours, days, or even weeks, to siphon funds or make unauthorized purchases before the fraud is detected. Scammers also know that seniors may be less familiar with the latest digital security threats, making them less likely to recognize red flags like unusual account activity or phishing attempts that often follow a skimming incident. To these criminals, seniors aren't just targets, they're the perfect targets. Their politeness, trust in institutions, and reliance on debit cards create a perfect storm of vulnerability, allowing scammers to operate with devastating efficiency. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Part 3. How the trick works technically. To fully grasp the sophistication of this scam, let's dive into the technical wizardry behind it. Payment terminals, those ubiquitous devices at checkout counters, are designed to securely communicate with banks and card networks to process transactions. But scammers have developed an arsenal of tools, both high-tech and deceptively low-tech, to exploit these systems and harvest your financial data. One common method involves physical tampering with the payment terminal itself. Fraudsters may install a skimming overlay, a thin, almost undetectable device that fits snugly over the terminal's card slot or keypad. These overlays are crafted to blend seamlessly with the machine, often going unnoticed by both customers and untrained employees. When you insert your card or enter your PIN, the skimmer captures your card number, expiration date, and PIN in real time. Simultaneously, the tampered terminal may display a false payment declined message, prompting you to try again on the legitimate machine beneath the overlay. By the time the transaction succeeds, your data has already been stolen, ready to be retrieved by the scammer or transmitted wirelessly to a nearby device. In more sophisticated cases, the scam doesn't require a physical skimmer at all. Dishonest merchants or employees can manipulate the payment terminal software to trigger a false decline. For example, they might run a small test charge, say $1 or $2, that doesn't appear on your receipt but confirms your card is active and valid. On your end, the screen shows a failed transaction, prompting you to retry. Behind the scenes, the scammer has already collected enough data to clone your card or make unauthorized purchases later. In some instances, terminals can even be hacked remotely, with malicious code installed to generate fake error messages or capture card data without any physical tampering. Then there's the low-tech approach, which is just as effective. A complicit cashier might deliberately press the cancel button on the terminal before the transaction completes, casually informing you, "Oh, it didn't work. Try again." You comply, unaware that the initial attempt may have already sent your card details to a connected system or that the cashier is part of the scheme. In some cases, scammers combine these tactics, using both tampered hardware and human accomplices to maximize their haul. What makes this scam particularly insidious is its ability to exploit multiple points of failure in the payment process. Each time you retry your card, you provide another opportunity for your data to be captured or validated. Some scammers even use the stolen information to create counterfeit cards, make online purchases, or sell your details to other criminals on the dark web. The result is a devastating breach of trust, where a routine transaction, something as simple as buying groceries, becomes a gateway to financial ruin. Part 4. Real-life examples. Picture this. You're standing at the checkout counter of a busy grocery store, your cart filled with essentials. Behind you, a line of impatient shoppers shifts restlessly, their eyes occasionally glancing your way. You fumble slightly with your bags, trying to pack your groceries quickly, as you insert or tap your debit or credit card to pay. The machine beeps, and suddenly, the screen flashes an alarming message. Payment declined. The cashier, with a neutral expression tinged with just a hint of impatience, says, "It didn't go through. Try again." Your stomach drops. The pressure of the moment hits you hard. Embarrassment creeps in, your face flushes, and you're hyper-aware of the people waiting behind you. You don't want to seem like someone who can't afford their groceries or hold up the line any longer than necessary. Almost instinctively, you reach for your card to try again. This fleeting moment of discomfort is precisely what scammers are banking on. They understand human psychology with chilling precision, exploiting our natural aversion to public embarrassment, our desire to resolve issues quickly, and our inherent trust in the systems we use every day. What you might not realize in that split second is that the payment decline could be no accident at all. It could be a carefully orchestrated ploy. Some unscrupulous merchants or individuals manipulate payment systems to create this scenario, using tampered machines or software tweaks to deliberately trigger a false, declined message on your first attempt. It's a modern-day sleight of hand, not unlike a magician distracting you with one hand while pulling off the trick with the other. Behind the scenes, the scam is already in motion. When you insert or tap your card for that first failed attempt, your card details, number, expiration date, and even your PIN in some cases, are being silently captured by a skimming device or malicious software. When you try again, as most people do under the pressure of the moment, the transaction miraculously goes through. You breathe a sigh of relief, gather your groceries, and walk away, completely unaware that your sensitive financial information has been compromised. The scammers rely on your trust in the merchant, the system, and the routine nature of paying for goods. They exploit your eagerness to avoid confrontation or further embarrassment, knowing you're unlikely to question the process or suspect foul play in such a mundane setting. This scam is not just about stealing your money, it's about weaponizing your emotions and trust against you. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Part 5. Why it's so dangerous. Scammers don't choose their victims at random. They study human behavior with the precision of a predator stalking its prey, and seniors are disproportionately targeted for reasons that are both heartbreaking and infuriating. Older adults, particularly those over 65, often exhibit traits that make them particularly vulnerable to this type of scam. Many seniors were raised in an era where politeness, respect for authority, and trust in institutions were deeply ingrained values. If a payment fails at checkout, a senior is more likely to apologize, try again quickly, or avoid making a fuss rather than demand an explanation or walk away. This isn't a flaw, it's a reflection of a generation taught to value courtesy and avoid confrontation. Unfortunately, scammers see this as an opportunity to exploit. Beyond behavioral tendencies, seniors are also targeted because of their financial habits. Many prefer using debit cards over credit cards, a choice rooted in the values of their time. Growing up in an era when carrying debt was frowned upon, seniors often opt for debit cards to manage their finances responsibly, ensuring they only spend what they have. While this is a prudent approach, it leaves them uniquely vulnerable. Unlike credit cards, which offer a buffer of time to dispute fraudulent charges before they impact your actual funds, debit card transactions are directly linked to your bank account. If a scammer gains access, the money is withdrawn immediately, leaving victims with an empty account and a long, arduous process to recover their funds, a process that can take weeks or even months. Moreover, seniors may not be as tech-savvy or accustomed to monitoring their accounts online as younger generations, who are often glued to their smartphones and banking apps. A senior might check their bank statement only when it arrives in the mail or make a trip to the bank, giving scammers a critical window of time, hours, days, or even weeks, to drain accounts or make unauthorized transactions before the victim notices anything amiss. Scammers also know that seniors are less likely to be familiar with the latest fraud tactics or the intricacies of modern payment systems, making it easier to pull off these schemes without raising suspicion. The emotional toll is another factor scammers exploit. For many seniors, discovering they've been scammed can lead to feelings of shame or helplessness, which may deter them from reporting the crime or seeking help promptly. Scammers count on this hesitation, knowing it buys them more time to cover their tracks. In short, seniors aren't just targets, they're seen as ideal targets. Polite, trusting, financially cautious, and less likely to detect or report fraud quickly. This calculated exploitation of their virtues and vulnerabilities is what makes these scams so insidious. Part 6. The red flags to watch for. To fully grasp the sophistication of this scam, Let's dive into the technical mechanics behind it. Payment terminals, those ubiquitous devices at checkout counters, are designed to securely communicate with banks and card networks to process transactions. However, scammers have developed cunning methods to intercept or manipulate this process, blending high-tech tools with low-tech trickery to steal your financial information. One common method involves the use of physical skimming devices. These are often thin, nearly undetectable overlays placed over the legitimate card reader or keypad on a payment terminal. When you insert or tap your card, the overlay captures your card number, expiration date, and, if you're using a debit card, your PIN. These devices are designed to be discreet, blending seamlessly with the machine's appearance so neither you nor the cashier suspects anything. The skimmer may also be programmed to trigger a false, declined message on the screen, prompting you to try again on the legitimate machine underneath. By this point, your card details have already been recorded, and the second attempt allows the transaction to proceed normally, leaving you none the wiser. In other cases, the scam doesn't rely on physical hardware at all. Dishonest merchants or employees can manipulate the payment system itself, using software tweaks or insider access to create the illusion of a failed transaction. For example, they might run a small test charge, as little as $1 or $2, in the background. On your end, the screen shows a decline, but behind the scenes, the test charge confirms that your card is valid and active. This information can then be used or sold to criminals who make larger, unauthorized transactions later. In some instances, scammers exploit vulnerabilities in the terminal software, remotely hacking the system to display false error messages or intercept data during the transaction process. Low-tech methods are just as effective. A dishonest cashier might simply press the cancel button on the terminal before the payment fully processes, then casually tell you, "It didn't go through, try again." To you, it seems like a harmless glitch, but the initial attempt may have already sent your card details to a connected skimming system or allowed the scammer to record your information manually. Some scammers even use social engineering tactics, relying on their authority as a cashier to convince you to retry the payment or enter your PIN multiple times, each attempt increasing their chances of capturing your data. What makes this scam particularly alarming is its ability to blend seamlessly into everyday transactions. The technology behind payment terminals is complex, but scammers don't need to be master hackers to exploit it. A simple overlay device can be purchased online for as little as $20, and basic software manipulation requires only minimal technical knowledge. Whether it's a high-tech hack or a low-tech trick, the result is the same. Your card data is exposed with every attempt, and scammers walk away with everything they need to drain your account or sell your information on the dark web. The combination of psychological manipulation and technical deception makes this scam devastatingly effective, and terrifyingly difficult to detect in the moment. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Part 7. What to do if this happens to you. Imagine you're standing at the checkout counter, your groceries scanned and bagged, when the payment terminal flashes payment declined. The cashier gives you that familiar look, neutral but with a trace of impatience, and says, "It didn't go through. Try again." Your first instinct might be to fumble for your card and retry, desperate to avoid holding up the line or looking like you can't pay. But if something feels off, this is the moment to take control. Here's a step-by-step guide to handling the situation calmly and protecting yourself from a potential scam. Step 1. Stay calm and slow down. First and foremost, don't let embarrassment or pressure push you into rash decisions. Scammers thrive on your urgency, knowing that most people will retry their card without thinking twice. Take a deep breath and pause. That brief moment of composure could save you from falling into a trap. Politely tell the cashier, "Let me take a second to figure this out." This signals that you're not rushing and gives you time to assess the situation. Step 2. Request proof of the decline. Ask the cashier to print a receipt or provide documentation of the declined transaction. Legitimate payment systems can generate a record of any failed attempt, showing details like the date, time, and reason for the decline, e.g., insufficient funds, or connection error. If the cashier hesitates, claims they can't provide a receipt, or seems evasive, consider that a red flag. A refusal to provide proof suggests something may be amiss, and you should proceed with caution. Step 3. Switch payment methods. Instead of retrying the same debit card, switch to a different payment method, ideally a credit card. Why? Credit cards offer a critical layer of protection that debit cards lack. If fraud occurs, the charges appear on your credit card statement, not as money directly withdrawn from your bank account. This gives you time to dispute the charges with your bank before paying the bill, minimizing your financial exposure. If you must use a debit card, consider using a secondary card tied to an account with limited funds. More on this in Part 8. If you have cash or another card, use it to complete the transaction and avoid further interaction with a potentially compromised terminal. Step 4. Check your account immediately. As soon as you can, ideally right at the counter or as soon as you step away, check your bank account for any unusual activity. Most banks offer mobile apps or online banking portals that display real-time pending transactions. Look for small, unfamiliar charges, such as $1 or $2, which scammers often use as test charges to verify your card is active. If you spot anything suspicious, use your bank's app or call the customer service number on the back of your card to freeze or lock your card immediately. This prevents scammers from making further unauthorized transactions. If you don't have access to online banking, visit an ATM or call your bank as soon as possible to review recent activity. Step 5. Report the incident promptly. If you suspect a scam, contact your bank immediately using the official number printed on your card or your bank's website. Never use a number provided by the cashier or a stranger. Explain the situation in detail, the unexpected decline, the retry attempt, the cashier's behavior, and any other suspicious details, like a strange-looking payment terminal. Ask the bank to flag your account for potential fraud and monitor for unauthorized transactions. If you've already noticed fraudulent charges, file a formal fraud report with your bank and request a new card. Speed is critical. The sooner you report the issue, the better your chances of stopping scammers before they cause significant damage. Step 6. Walk away if something feels wrong. Trust your instincts. If the cashier is overly pushy, the terminal looks tampered with, e.g., a loose card slot or an unusual overlay, or the situation feels uncomfortable, don't hesitate to walk away. Yes, it might feel awkward to leave your groceries or step away from a gas pump, but protecting your financial security is worth a moment of inconvenience. Politely tell the cashier, "I'm going to try another store," and leave. If you're at a gas station or a place where walking away isn't practical, pay with cash or a different card and report the incident to the business's manager or your bank later. Your peace of mind and financial safety outweigh the temporary embarrassment of abandoning a transaction. By following these steps, you regain control of the situation and minimize the risk of falling victim to a scam. Acting deliberately and confidently sends a message to potential fraudsters that you're not an easy target. Part 8. Practical Protection Strategies. Prevention is your best defense against payment decline scams. By adopting smart habits and leveraging modern banking tools, you can significantly reduce your vulnerability, even if scammers try to target you. Here are practical, actionable strategies to safeguard your finances, tailored especially for seniors who may feel overwhelmed by today's digital landscape. Use contactless payments. Whenever possible, opt for tap-to-pay options using your card, smartphone, or smartwatch, e.g., Apple Pay, Google Wallet, or Samsung Pay. Contactless payments use advanced encryption and generate unique, one-time use codes for each transaction, making it nearly impossible for scammers to capture usable data. Unlike inserting a card into a potentially tampered terminal, tapping reduces the risk of skimming. If your card doesn't support contactless payments, ask your bank for a new one that does. For seniors hesitant to use smartphone-based payments, ask a trusted family member or friend to help set up and explain the process. It's simpler than it seems and adds a powerful layer of security. Set up transaction alerts. Most banks and credit card companies offer free transaction alerts via text, email, or push notifications through their mobile apps. These alerts notify you instantly whenever your card is used, including the amount and merchant. For example, if a scammer runs a $1 test charge, you'll know immediately and can freeze your card before they escalate to larger transactions. To enable alerts, log into your bank's online portal or call their customer service line and ask for real-time notifications. While the constant alerts might feel intrusive at first, they're one of the most effective ways to catch fraud early. For seniors who don't use smartphones, many banks can send text alerts to basic mobile phones or even call you directly for suspicious activity. Limit funds in your debit account. One of the simplest yet most overlooked strategies is to keep only a small amount of money in the checking account tied to your debit card. Many people, especially seniors, keep their entire savings in a single account for convenience, but this makes them a prime target for scammers. Instead, maintain a separate savings account and transfer only what you need for daily or weekly expenses, e.g., $200 to $500, into your checking account. If a scammer gains access to your debit card, they can only drain the limited funds in your checking account, not your life savings. Set up automatic transfers or visit your bank regularly to move funds as needed. This approach requires a bit of planning but drastically reduces your risk. Leverage fraud prevention tools. Modern banking apps offer powerful tools to protect your accounts. Many allow you to lock or freeze your debit or credit card when you're not using it, rendering it unusable for transactions until you unlock it. For example, if you're only shopping once a week, lock your card after each trip and unlock it before the next. Some banks also let you set spending limits or geographic restrictions, e.g., blocking transactions outside your state. Contact your bank to learn about their specific fraud prevention features and how to enable them. If you're not tech-savvy, visit a local branch or ask a trusted family member to help you set up these tools. Carry 2 cards from different banks. A lesser-known but highly effective strategy is to carry 2 cards from separate financial institutions. Use one card, preferably a debit card tied to a low-balance checking account, for small, everyday purchases like groceries, gas, or coffee. Use a second card, ideally a credit card, for larger purchases, online transactions, or situations where you suspect a higher risk of fraud, e.g., unfamiliar merchants. By diversifying your payment methods, you limit the damage a single compromised card can cause. If one card is skimmed, your other accounts remain safe, giving you time to resolve the issue without disrupting your financial life. For seniors, this strategy also simplifies tracking. You can review statements from 2 accounts instead of worrying about a single point of failure. Stay proactive, not paranoid. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the threat of scams, but being cautious doesn't mean living in fear. Remind yourself that taking these steps is about empowerment, not paranoia. Scammers target those who are unprepared, assuming they won't notice or act quickly. By adopting these habits, using contactless payments, setting up alerts, limiting funds, leveraging bank tools, and carrying multiple cards, you build a fortress around your finances. These small changes make you a less appealing target and give you peace of mind in an increasingly fraud-filled world. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Part 9. What banks don't tell you. Banks often advertise robust fraud protection, assuring customers that they'll be reimbursed for unauthorized transactions. While this is technically true, there's a darker reality they rarely emphasize, especially when it comes to debit card fraud. Understanding these hidden truths can help you make informed decisions and protect yourself more effectively, particularly if you're a senior on a fixed income. Debit card fraud hits harder and slower. Unlike credit card fraud, where unauthorized charges can be disputed before you pay the bill, debit card fraud drains your bank account instantly. That's your rent, utility bills, or grocery money gone in a flash, leaving you scrambling to cover essentials while the bank investigates. Although federal regulations require banks to refund fraudulent debit card transactions, the process can be agonizingly slow. Investigations often take 30 to 90 days, and in complex cases, even longer. For seniors living on fixed incomes, Social Security, pensions, or modest savings, this delay can be catastrophic. Imagine trying to stretch a limited budget while thousands of dollars are tied up in a bank's fraud investigation. The stress and financial strain can feel overwhelming. Bank systems aren't designed for everyone. Another rarely discussed issue is that banks' fraud detection systems are often built with tech-savvy customers in mind. When suspicious activity occurs, banks typically send alerts via email, text, or app notifications, expecting you to respond quickly to confirm or deny the transaction. For seniors who don't check their phones or email frequently, these alerts can go unnoticed for days or weeks, giving scammers ample time to escalate their attacks. Some banks may even close a fraud case if you don't respond to their inquiries within a short window, leaving you to fight for reimbursement later. If you're not comfortable with technology, consider asking your bank to send fraud alerts via phone calls or paper mail, though these methods may be slower. Outdated advice can increase your risk. Many seniors grew up with financial advice from an era when debit cards were seen as safer than credit cards. Gurus preached, avoid debt at all costs, only use debit to spend what you have. While this mindset promotes fiscal responsibility, it's dangerously outdated in today's fraud-heavy environment. Credit cards offer a buffer. Fraudulent charges don't directly impact your bank account, and disputes are resolved faster. Responsible credit card use, paying off the balance monthly, can shield you from the risks debit cards expose you to. Yet banks rarely highlight this distinction, as they profit from debit card transactions and overdraft fees. If you prefer debit, use it strategically. For small, trusted merchants, and always with the protections outlined in Part 8. You're your own first line of defense. Banks have robust fraud departments, but their processes prioritize efficiency and compliance, not your immediate financial security. If your account is drained, you may face weeks of financial hardship before reimbursement. This is why proactive measures, like checking your account regularly, using credit cards for risky transactions, and reporting issues immediately, are critical. Don't rely on your bank to catch fraud before it impacts you. By understanding these unspoken realities, you can make smarter choices and protect yourself in real time. Part 10. Final warning and call to action. The payment decline scam is not a random glitch or a stroke of bad luck. It's a deliberate, calculated attack designed to exploit your trust and urgency. As this scam spreads across stores, gas stations, and even online platforms, it's more important than ever to stay vigilant. The next time your card is unexpectedly declined, don't just swipe or tap again out of habit. Pause. Look at the payment terminal. Does the card slot feel loose or unusual? Is the cashier acting pushy or evasive? Does your gut tell you something's wrong? That moment of hesitation could save you hundreds or thousands of dollars in stolen funds. Scammers are clever, but they're also lazy. They target people who won't question, won't check their accounts, and won't act swiftly. By staying alert, you make yourself a harder target. Inspect the terminal before using it. Look for signs of tampering, like a bulky card reader or a keypad that feels off. Ask questions if the cashier's behavior seems odd. Most importantly, trust your instincts. If something feels fishy, walk away and report it. If you've ever experienced a suspicious decline or fallen victim to a scam like this, don't stay silent. Share your story, whether in the comments below, with friends, or on community forums. It might feel embarrassing to admit you were targeted, but your experience could save someone else from the same fate. Thousands of people, especially seniors, are facing these scams every day, often in silence. By speaking out, you break the cycle of shame and help others recognize the warning signs. Finally, take action today. Set up those transaction alerts, move excess funds to a savings account, and consider switching to contactless payments or credit cards for added protection. Scammers want easy victims, but you have the power to turn the tables. Stay informed, stay cautious, and take control of your financial security. You're not just protecting your money, you're protecting your peace of mind. That's it for today's video on the payment decline scam that's targeting seniors and debit card users. I hope this has opened your eyes to how easily scammers can turn an everyday moment into a trap and, more importantly, how you can protect yourself. So, what have you learned so far? I want to hear from you. Please comment below with one key thing you've learned from this video and how you plan to put it into practice in your life to stay safe. Your story could help someone else avoid becoming a victim. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips to keep you and your loved ones safe. Stay smart, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next video.